more parts that you need to know for sure, let me know. We can go back over that same, you know, rehearse that same conversation 2 or 3 times. It don't really make me no difference. All right, y'all ready? All right, Mr. Sam, I'm ready to start my pre-trip. First thing I would like to do is approach my vehicle. Look for leaks, puddles, dripping fluid on the ground, under the engine, and the underside of the engine and the transmission. I need a fluid move. Thank you. After that, I would like to check all the headlights, front of my vehicle, my headlights, my reflector, and my screen. Making sure they're clean, not missing, not broken, proper color. Now listen, all the means that test out through DDA, you must unlock this hood. And me personally, I always prefer that you open up this hood before you go to your exhaust system. You have to follow the exhaust system turbo. But when you always break your conversation, so don't run to the exhaust system and stop your conversation just to come over the hood. Don't hit the hood. All the men must open it up from here. All the men. I don't care how you want to do it. You got to open it up from here. Now the women, y'all are optional. You can either open it up from here or you can literally unlock it and come to the side. Pick the hood up just like this here. It's a whole lot longer. Y'all are optional. All the men. After that, I like to check my exhaust system. My exhaust system is tight, mounted securely, no loose clamps, checking for damage, signs of leaking, such as rust or carbon soot. Hay has no cracks, holes, or severe dents. I'm gonna follow my exhaust system to my turbo. After that, I like to check my engine hoses, making sure they're not cracked, worn, frayed, or leaking. After that, I like to check my alternator. My alternator is securely mounted. All wires are securely fastened. It's belt driven. The belt is not frayed, no visible cracks, no loose fibers, no signs of wear. If I push belt with hand, if it deflects more than a half or 3/4 of an inch, it's excessive. Belt is snug. After that, I like to check my water pump. Now I'm gonna tell y'all about me, y'all. Anytime I come to a motor or an engine, and some of y'all that's gonna be testing out on that manual, y'all gonna look directly just like what we're looking at right now. Me personally, when I come over here to do my water pump, now I'm gonna tell you about me. I knock my water pump out, my oil, my power steering pump, and my after pressure. I clean all it out right off the bat. So I won't even have to worry about going back in there no more. So my water pump. The water pump is the only thing on your pre-trip that's mounted properly. My water pump mounted properly. It's not loose and it's not leaking. It's also belt driven. Belt is not frayed, no visible cracks, no loose fibers, no signs of wear. If I push belt with hand, if it deflects more than a half or 3/4 of an inch, it's excessive. Belt is snug. My oil. Check my oil, make sure it's above the refill mark, and then a safe operating range. My power steering pump. Ooh, these so easy. Securely mounted, not leaking, gear driven. My air compressor, which is also back here, it's securely mounted, not leaking, gear driven. Now I ain't got to look back in there no more, y'all. Hello, coolant. Coolant should be at adequate level. My engine hose, I'm checking for conditions and leaks. My power steering fluid, I'm gonna check the sight glass for proper level above the refill mark. My steering box and hoses, steering box is securely mounted. It's not leaking. No loose or missing nuts and bolts. My steering hose is not damaged and it's not leaking. My steering linkage, my arm, my rod, and my link from the steering box to the wheel are not worn or cracked. My joint and socket are not worn or loose, and there's no loose or missing nuts, bolt, and cotter pin. My spring mount and my hanger, which is back here. My brackets, bolts, and bushes are in place. There's no crack or broken spring hangers, and no missing or damaged bushes. That's how you have to do this leaf spring. You can't say spring down there and hang up here, because there's a hanger back there. My leaf spring is not missing, shifted, cracked, or broken. My U-boat, there's no broken, loose, or missing bolts, including my U-boats. My shock absorber is securely mounted, it's not leaking. My brake hose, not cracked, worn, or frayed. All couplings and fittings are secure. It's not leaking, and it can supply out. My brake chamber is securely mounted, it's not leaking, has no cracks or dents, and no loose or missing clamps. My slack adjuster push rod is securely mounted. There's no bent, broken, loose, or missing parts. And if the brakes were released and pulled by hand, my push rod shouldn't move no more than approximately 1 inch. My brake drum and lining has no cracks, holes, or dents, no loose or missing bolts. My brake liners are not worn dangerously thin, and my brake drum and my brake liner has no contaminants such as grease and oil. My tires, I'm gonna tell y'all about me. I knock out my tread depth first. That's why I put my fingertips in here. As soon as I come to my tire, my tread depth should be a minimum of 4/32. Then I talk about my condition. My tread is even and warm. There's no cut or damage to the tread or to the sidewall. My valve cap and stem is not missing, damaged, or broken. And if I want to check my tire inflation, I do it by using a proper tire gauge. My rim is not damaged or bent, and it shouldn't have any welding repair. And there's no rust trail to indicate that my rim is loose from the wheel. My lug nuts are all present, not loose. There's no rust trails around my nuts. I always draw my finger and throw a crack to help me remember. There's no cracks radiating from the lug bolt holes, and there's no distortion of the bolt hole. My hub bar seal is at adequate level, not leaking. I'm not going to pass the turn signal just to come back to it. It's her responsibility to keep up with the side of my tractor. Turn signal. Let me know when you're out. Hello. Clearance lights and turn signals. 4-way flashes are clean, not missing, not broken, and proper color. I ain't gonna never change that conversation from the beginning. Now I'm gonna go to my door. My door, mirrors, and brackets. See it? Doors, mirrors, and brackets. Internal, external mirror brackets. Securely mounted, not damaged. Free of excessive dust. My door is not damaged. It opens and closes properly. My hinges are secure. And my seal is intact. Right here, y'all, it's a baggage. That's how you pull the pump in. 9 out of 10, you may have a fire extinguisher that's right here. If your fire extinguisher is right here and you already doing your don't hit your fire extinguisher, especially if it's right here. 9 out of 10, if it's not here, it's gonna be in this box. And it's a little thing that is right here on the side. It say baggage, you can pull, and it'll pop that side, it'll pop that box open on the side. Now I'm gonna take my fuel tank. I'm not passing nothing to come back to it, y'all. It's my fuel tank. My fuel tank is secure, and my cap is tight. And there's no leaks from my fuel tank and from my fuel cap. If you call it a gas tank, you ain't gonna get the credit. Hello, fire extinguisher. Like to check my fire extinguisher, make sure it's properly secured and properly charged. I also want to make sure I have 3 reflector warning triangles. And also make sure I have spare electrical fuses. It don't matter if they're in there, that's just your conversation. Hello. Now once I get here, y'all, I ain't gonna lie to you, I turn my back towards this way because I ain't looking back that way no more. I'm going one way, straight ahead. Hello, clearance lights. Making sure they clean, not missing, not broken, proper color. I ain't gonna never change that conversation, y'all. My header board is secure, strong enough to contain cargo, free of damage, and no missing rivets. My air connectors. Are sealed and in good condition. My glad hands are locked in place and free of damage. My airline. Now I do mine a little different. I put all 3 of my C's together first, then I put my 2 T's together. Then the last 3 letters, I just put them in alphabetical order, the P, the S, and the W. So here I go, my airlines. They're not cramp, crack, chafe, tape, tangle, splice, worn, not dragging on tractor boards. My electrical connector is firmly seated, locked in place on both the truck and the trailer. Electrical lines, I don't change that conversation, I just add insulation is not cut at the end. Here I go. They're not crimped, cracked, tape, tangled, pinch, splice, worn, and my electrical insulation is not cut, and it's also not dragging on tractor board. My catwalk is still, it's solid, securely bolted to the tractor frame, and it's clear of loose objects, real loose objects. I think about a water board or something. My frame, there's no cracks or bends in my longitudinal frame member. There's no bent, broken, cracked, loose, or missing cross members. My drive shaft, which is in here, it's not bent, twisted, or cracked. My U-joint appear to be secure, and it's free of foreign objects. I think about an animal or something up under there. My torque on torsion bar. Everybody that needs to see it, let me know. I keep my hand here.
I need to see it.
Okay, let me know when I can move on. Torque on torsion bar.
Right there. You see his hand?
All right.
See?
Gotcha. I keep going down?
Yeah.
It's securely mounted and it's not damaged. Now right here after my torque on torsion bar, I got my brake hoses right here now. So I'm not gonna come out of here just to go back in here. So I'm gonna go and clean this out while I'm in here. I got my brake hose, my brake chamber, and my slack adjuster right here. So I'm gonna go and knock these out while I'm right here. My brake hoses, not cracked, worn, or frayed. All couplings and fittings are secure, not leaking, and it can supply air. My brake chamber. Let me know. Brake chamber. Security mounted. Has no cracks or dents. No cracks or dents. Not leaking, and no loose or missing clamps. My slack is just a push rod. It's right behind the brake chamber. Yeah, if you having a conversation where you can talk about the brake hose and the brake chamber and ain't saying nothing about the slack adjuster, then you need to go back and talk about the slack adjuster. Because all three of them go together. You ain't gonna never miss them three together. Yeah, your slack adjuster is securely mounted. There's no bent, broken, loose, or missing parts. And if the brakes were released and pulled by hand, push rod shouldn't move no more than approximately 1 inch. Right on the side of your frame, you got your spring mount right here. Your anchor is always in the back. Matter of fact, your airbag and your air mount takes the place of your spring. So you'll still point up in the direction for your spring hanger. My spring mount and my spring hanger, my brackets, bolts, and bushes are in place. There's no cracked or broken spring hangers and no missing or damaged bushes. My leaf springs, they go together, y'all. Yeah. Anytime you can talk about the leaf spring and you ain't saying nothing about the spring mounts and hangers or the U-bolts, you out. Yeah, you out. My leaf spring is not missing, shifted, cracked, or broken. My U-bolts. Yeah. My U-bolts. There's no broken, loose, or missing bolts, including my U-bolts. My shock absorber, securely mounted, not leaking. Brake drum and line. Has no cracks, holes, or dents, no loose or missing bolts. My brake liners are not worn dangerous within, and my brake drum and brake liner has no contaminants such as grease and oil. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do my bud spacing here, because I'm coming out this way. So my bud spacing, evenly spaced, not damaged, free of foreign objects. I'm gonna wait for you to catch up, go to your tires. Yeah, I'm not skipping none of this to come back to you. You there? First thing I like to do is check my tread depth. Should be a minimum of 230 seconds. After that, I like to check my tire condition. My tread is evenly worn. There's no cuts or damage to the tread and to the sidewall. My valve cap is still, it's not missing, damaged, or broken. If I want to check my tire inflation, I'll do it by using the proper tire gauge. My rim is not damaged or bent, and it shouldn't have any welding repairs. And there's no rust shred to indicate that my rim is loose from the wheel. My lug nuts are all present, not loose. There's no rust shreds around my nuts. There's no cracks radiating from the lug bolt holes, and there's no distortion of the bolt holes. My axle seal is not leaking. Let me know when you're at the airbag. Airbag and air mount. Go back to the air. My airbag is not damaged and it's not leaking. My air mounts. My airbag mounting bolts. There's two of them, y'all. There's one on the top and there's one at the bottom. They're in place and not damaged. Now I'm finna knock out this cover. Hello. My apron is not cracked, bent, or broken. My gap, my trailer is laying flat on my fifth wheel skid plate, and there's no space in between my apron and my fifth wheel skid plate. My fifth wheel skid plate is properly lubricated, securely mounted to the platform, and all bolts and pins are secure and not missing. My release arm is secure all the way in the engaged position, and my safety latch is in place. My platform, there's no cracks or breaks in my platform structure, which supports my fifth wheel skid plate. My sliding fifth wheel, there's no leaks in the airlines, no loose or missing pins in the sliding mechanism of the sliding fifth wheel. My locking pins are fully engaged, and my fifth wheel is positioned properly so that the tractor frame can clear the landing gear during turn. My mount bolts, there's no loose or missing bracket, clamp, nuts, and bolts. And both fifth wheel and slide mount appears to be solidly attached in place. Now all this right here, I can walk right past it because I done already covered all this up here. So I can freely walk past this. I'm going to my locking jaw. Kingpin. Let me know when you're ready. My kingpin. Locking jaw holds my kingpin in place, and my kingpin is not bent or dampened. My locking jaw, my fifth wheel locking jaw is secure around the kingpin. All my lights and reflectors are clean, not missing, not broken, in proper color. My reflectors are clean with none missing and none broken. And my reflector tape is present and securely affixed to the vehicle. And my mud flap splash guard, see, I use this on my way coming out with my hand already on. My mud flap splash guard, securely mounted, not damaged. I'm gonna go to my trailer frame. There's no cracks or bends in my longitudinal frame member, and there's no bent, broken, cracked, loose, missing, cross member. Every 4 bolt is a cross member. And there's no breaks or holes in the box and in my trailer floor. My landing gear is fully raised, has no loose or missing parts. My crank handle is secure, and my support frame and my landing pad is not damaged. And my DOT reflector tape is present and securely affixed to the vehicle. And I'm gonna walk that conversation out. I'm not stopping by every reflector tape talking about it's present and affixed to the vehicle. I'm just gonna drag that conversation out. And my clearance lights, the turn signal, 4-way flash, clean, not missing, not broken, in proper color. And my DOT reflector tape is present and securely affixed to the vehicle. Turn to release. Locking pins are locked in place, and my turn to release is secure. This trailer totally different, y'all. All right, but you're gonna repeat the same thing. You're gonna talk about your spring mount, your hangers. You're gonna talk about your leaf spring. You're gonna talk about your U-bolts. You're gonna get your brake drum and line. You're gonna do your buzz base. All right. Then you're gonna come right back out. Start with the tire again. Gonna work that tire. Tread depth. Should be a minimum of 230 seconds. Tread is conditioned. Tread is evenly worn. No cuts or damage to the tread and the sidewall. Oh, you gotta tell you gonna have a torsion bar. See, I can't even show you the torsion bar because there ain't no torsion bar on you. You got a torsion bar back here too. So you'll do your locking pins, you do your tender release, you do your spring mount, your hangers, your leaf spring, your U-bolts. Then you'll do that torque arm. Then do your brake drum and line. Then come out to your blood space. Then work your tire again. Yeah, that's how you do that. My rim, hit the rim, not damaged or bent, shouldn't have any welding repair, and there's no rust shred to indicate that my rim is loose from the wheel. Did I finish that tire? Tread depth should be a minimum of 230 seconds. My tire condition, the tread is evenly worn. There's no cuts or damage to the tread and to the sidewall. My bag cap is thin, it's not missing, damaged, or broken. If I want to take my time, place it, I'll do it by using proper tire. Lug nuts are all present. I did the rim already, y'all, just in case if y'all forgot. Lug nuts are all present, not loose. There's no rust shreds around my nuts. There's no cracks radiating from the lug bolt holes, and there's no distortion of the bolt holes. My hub bar seal is not leaking and at adequate level. Now all this here I can walk right on back. DOT tank is fresh. Secure little fix to the vehicle. Clearance lights clean, not missing, not broken, in proper color. Now you'll have a doe tie on your trailer that you'll test out. That'll be right here. Don't knock out the doe tie. Doe tie is secure. Now I come up under here for only 3 conversations because they want you to touch everything. They want you to put your hands on everything. But once you make it back here, you can come back here. On the normal trailer that you will test out on, just for your brake hose. Oh, watch your head, ma'am.
It's okay.
Just for your brake hose, your brake chamber, and your slack adjuster. Everything else we done already talked about. Yeah, so we only back here for 3 conversations. That's the brake hose, the brake chamber, and the slack adjuster. So my brake hose, not correct one brake. All couplers and fittings up here, not leaking. Can supply air. Brake tank, securely mounted, has no cracks or dents, not leaking, and no loose or missing cracks. Slack adjuster push rod is securely mounted. There's no big, broken, loose, or missing parts, and if the brakes were released and pulled by hand, push rod shouldn't move no more than approximately 1 inch. And my mud flaps flash guard. Securely mounted. It's a whole totally different door. You'll have the doors like that. 2 doors. Yeah, the 2 doors. Yeah, the 2 doors. And all you'll do is talk about your doors and your hinges first. The door and your hinges are secure, not damaged. Your door, only conversation you're going to have different right here is your door open, closes, and latches properly. And my door ties are secure. You have door ties up here, are secure. Then your lights. Clearance lights, tail lights, 4-way flashes. Turn signals are clean, not missing, not broken, proper color. And your DOT reflector tape is present, it's securely fixed to the vehicle. That's it. That's it. Now did I need to say all that tender release and all that? Because I didn't say it because of the spring, the hangers and shit ain't on it. Now I can take you out to a truck where the hangers at.